Hello, dear colleagues out there, subscriber to Dental TV, now on YouTube. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Today, a special guest after this morning talking to Florian Kopfar about Smile Cloud, AI innovations. We go back and talk to a close friend. We already had several interviews together with Ronald Jung, the head of department of reconstructive dentistry at the Zurich Dental School. And that's why we are talking today, new president of the ITI. Before I give you the word, Ronnie, just let me tell you that I did an interview with Charlotte Stilwell when she became ITI president 4 years ago. I think it's a 4 years presidency. That's
Yes.
correct?
Yes, it's
So,
one
and
of
she, yeah, and she had a hard time because she really was hit by the pandemic and had to work in the beginning without being able to travel to visit the ITI sections. There was also a thing going on with the ITI education platform. Maybe we talk about that as well. But before we start, Ronnie, I think a lot of people know you, but maybe a short introduction why you love to be president of all organizations. So you have been president of the AAO. Maybe you will become president of the United States, but we don't have a president in Switzerland. That's a good thing. Otherwise, you would apply for president of Switzerland. But tell me two things. Introduce yourself and why are you aiming for these positions that require a lot of time and effort?
Thank you very much, Alessandro. For me, it's a big privilege and an honor and pleasure to have this interview with you because you're not just a colleague, you're really a true friend over so many years. We work together professionally. We have a lot of patients which we exchange among each other. So it's a true privilege to have this with you. And a big compliment to you, what you have achieved, because you have a very busy office. And besides that, you're so active in many areas. And what you have achieved with Dentistry, I think it's really remarkable. And you get a big applause for that. Now, me in a nutshell, I would say primarily nothing I have ever planned really worked out in my entire life. Everything which I planned changed. But this is one of my core characteristics that I extremely optimistic. My family calls me an aggressive optimist. So whenever also things are bad, I always see the good thing. And in everything, I see an opportunity. And that's how I have approached life throughout my professional career of 28 years. And when you stay agile, when you stay curious, when you stay interested, also things don't work out the way you initially planned. Everything is then an opportunity. And that's what I have seen in life, what I'm doing. And at the end of the day, what is really maybe my strongest USP is really that I'm very passionate and very enthusiastic. And I believe we have the best job in the world because we don't treat teeth. We don't treat missing teeth. I treat human beings. And this is what is my driver. And this comes also then along with your question, why did I become ITI president? So this was a bit a different way. Before I was EAO president, and the ITI has chosen a very professional way to look for a new president. So I was not part of the ITI board. So for the first time, a professional organization really has chosen a very professional approach, like for executive search, like big companies. So they made a global search to identify people which have the leadership quality for this. And the person which was driving behind that was Charlotte Stilwell, which you have interviewed. And I think she did an amazing job within the ITI during very difficult time periods. And she really strengthened the ITI in a very substantial way. And they wanted to have just people also from outside the board that is not limited to the people which are within the board to have the opportunity to become ITI president. And I was identified among 3 people. And I have gone through assessments there. And I was then the lucky one, which has been chosen for this position. And I think part of it was my passion and my strong drive. Because what gives me every day the energy to go with so much pleasure to work is the fact that I really would like to improve patient care worldwide. And this is what is my driver. Because I think we are at the moment in a very interesting time period. In time period, things change a lot. The geopolitical situation has changed, but we still have the same patient. Our job is to provide more patients with better care globally. And in my role as now an ITI president since May 2025, the ITI is a unique organization. It's really the most global organization we have in implant dentistry. And through their local study clubs and the decentralization of the organization, not everything comes from the headquarters. We have a direct access in so many markets. So we have 37 sections globally. And this makes this organization so globally integrated. And when I just look back to the annual meeting in Paris, which took place in May this year, my first meeting then in my role as a president, I really felt so proud and also modest. Again, in a crazy world we are currently, we meet there people from all over the world and everybody's on eye level. This is something which really gives me so much positive energy.
Just two questions. One question that a lot of people are asking when you mention ITI, is it just a Straumann club or is it more than that? Maybe let's do one question at a time. Is ITI Straumann or is ITI becoming finally independent of one company? I know that there's a support from Straumann to the ITI. And for many years, there was always the discussion inside the board of directors to become more independent, to open up ITI structure to other implant companies, or what is the actual situation? What is the short answer to this question? If there is a short answer.
There might be not a short answer, but it's one of my favorite questions because at the end of the day, the ITI is an organization which is organized as a foundation, as an association. And ITI has more than 26,000 members. So they pay a member fee. You're hopefully also an ITI member, Alessandro.
I'm a fellow for more than 20 years.
That's great.
More than 20 years.
That's important. So you are, at the end, you have the DNA of the ITI and you pay every year a membership fee. And this is more than half of the entire funds of the organization. And the foundation, Straumann is part of it, but there are also other companies which are also part of when we do also the World Symposium. So to make a long story short, the ITI at the end of the day is the most global, the most, I would say, professional organization driving for patient care, for excellent patient care, for an evidence type of dentistry with funds from Straumann. We cannot ignore this. So this is a partner of us, but every organization is dependent on funds. An EAO and European Academy of Aesthetic Dentistry and EFP, they cannot survive without the funds. And it's just the question, how many and how much of each of them. But at the end of the day, it's about the philosophy. And the idea is for me, a feeling. The feeling of dentists come together, independent whether you place Straumann implants or not. It's not about what implant brand you use. It's about the passion to improve patient care. And when you do this with another type of implant, you do it with another type of implant. It's not that it's limits to people which place Straumann implant. That's very important. So the organization is open for every person which shares the same global philosophy to improve patient care. That's what unites us. And yes, behind every organization, there is a financial business plan. This is for an EAO. They have a business plan and the IT has a business plan. And again, independent or different to every other organization, nobody has that many membership fees, which the money stays within the ITI. And this is the most independent money. So we should not always associate it to Straumann because the same issue is also happening to other organizations because we are dependent partnerships and we should do this in a proud way and in a transparent way. But the way we act, that's how the professional part starts with. And there I'm totally open and totally about using this as a global community and family which has the same passion for the patient.
Okay, so my next question is regarding the ITI education structure. I know that the online ITI education platform was struggling, and because I was also I applied also to take over the lead of this ITI education thing. At the end, they took dentists from Great Britain to do this reorganization. I would have loved to do that as well. But the thing was, they asked me, why did the ITI education platform not succeed? And my answer was, you invested a lot of money creating high class educational videos. Most of them were done at the University of Bern with Professor Boozer, with this amazing team of filmmakers, highly professional, but nobody was watching it. And then my comment was, if you just create content without asking the audience if they really want it, you will not succeed. That's why my principle of dental TV is also ask, watch, master. Ask a question, get the answer to the question with the video. And this is, I think, something that should be also the next generation of ITI education, to give basic information, but this will not replace hands-on workshops, but gives you a higher level of education. So what are the next strategies? Did you ask the members what educational material they want, or what is the new strategy of the ITI education platform?
Mhm. I think we should not just focus on the platform. We have started in Paris with a strategic meeting, and we have different strategic direction we want to go to. And they are based actually on ABC strategy, as we called it. A is for awareness, B is for belonging, and C is for collaborative growth. So these are the three main pillars of how the ITI is evolving and developing. So that means the platform is just one piece out of a new strategic direction which we go to. And this strategic direction goes, in the one hand, strengthening the collaborative approach, also the partnering up with other organizations. That's a strong point. We just had 2 weeks ago, we had the first global consensus of clinical guidelines in Boston. For the first time in the history of dentistry, we were able to provide clinical guidelines, which is the highest level of knowledge you can have, through a collaborative approach of the most important global organizations in North America, in Europe, in Brazil, in China, in Japan, in India, in South Korea. 2 publishing partners for the first time joined the publication part. This is Quintessence Wiley, together with the ITI Osteology Foundation and all the Reconstruction Foundation. So a unique event. And this shows me where the future goes to. The time where you just do work for yourself, I do for me, it's over. It's a collaborative process. That's one initiative. The second is to strengthen the practitioner, the GPs globally. And the ITI has the unique opportunity with the study clubs. We have more than 1,000 study clubs in the world. And this is really on the level, on the eye level of the clinicians on a daily basis. And I want to definitely strengthen also these study clubs, and I want to grow on that part. And the third part is that the belonging and the feeling of the ITI starts from an experience. It's not just anymore. We shouldn't just think of silos, having then a publication journal, having then a treatment guide, having then an online platform. We need to personalize it, and we need to exactly find the solution for you, for somebody else, and somebody else. So it's not one size fits all. It's a tailored approach to every individual. And the learning is not anymore a learning, it's an experience, an excitement. That's how it will be in the future.
How do you approach the younger generation? So we see that the younger generation, and I remember a talk we had when you told me you were asking an assistant to replace you for an important meeting, and he was answering, "Oh, I have to ask my girlfriend if I can go." And so basically, so it was more important to go for a hike in the mountain than go for replacing you in an important meeting in New York. There's a shift in the perception, in the work-life balance of the younger generation. So how are you approaching the younger generation within the ITI?
That's an initiative which we have started now 1 year ago, which has been led by Herman Gallucci from Harvard Boston. He's the board member and he's the chair of the leadership committee. And he went through a very thorough process of from global approach, which people could apply. And at the end, identifying 10 young leaders globally, they had to undergo a lot of circles of assessments. And the inauguration took place then in Paris in May 2025. And they are also locally distributed among the different geographic regions. And this is just one start of integrating and bringing these really young leaders on eye level with us. So it's not like the board has top-down approach, a top-down approach. It's really bringing the future into the hands of the future leaders and not into your hands or my hands. So we are the facilitators to let them grow. And they are obviously then involved in all these strategic process in order to shape the future of the ITI, to shape the future of implant dentistry for the best of our patients.
This sounds very interesting, very interesting. But again,
would you let me be so young as well, Alessandro? You would have applied for it as well. I'm sure it would be amazing.
I'm young, old, or old, young.
Exactly.
No, the age is always a number. It's how you feel. And like my saying, also this morning, I told Florin, I stopped talking to dentists over 40. But so you can say, okay, you're not 40, you're younger. But basically, my statement was, we see that too many of our colleagues are really narrow-minded, are not open-minded, are not seeing that there's something outside the dental office. And that's why I like people like you, although it's really heavy what you're doing. It's more than a 100% job at the end. If you take your professorship, your family, all the lectures, now this presidency and all the other things you're doing, it's 400%. And I feel that you have the passion and you have the power to do. And yeah, and I'm looking really forward to what the ITI can become, because I can tell you my first connection with the ITI was 25 years ago. And I was invited by Professor Buser and Professor Belzer. And I did the workshop on photography and presentation technique for the ITI leaders, and then was invited to travel around the globe. So this was my start with the ITI, and it was really very interesting. And I felt the passion of this different region, of these leaders of the different regions. And that's why when they asked me if I want to become a fellow, I accepted this invitation. And I'm a proud member of the ITI. I can say that. And with you as a professor, I think Charlotte did a great job. Also, all the other presidents did an amazing job. But I think every new presidency gives a new drive, a new way. And also, as you mentioned, the selection process, that it was not just, okay, now you are the next in the row, like in a lot of academies.
Yes.
When you reach the time in your career that you are able, or that you are now the next president, maybe it's not in the right time. And you should be president 10 years earlier, or maybe 5 years later. And so for that, I think this new decision process is a great idea. I didn't know that, but it's a great idea to say, okay, now we have to find the person that meets the criteria to become the right leader of this organization. And I'm sure that, Ronnie, you are a great leader of the ITI. And I'm really looking forward to many meetings with you talking about the future. But let me just one final comment. And I like that this was a statement done by Diego Gabatuller when he was in my office for an interview. And he was telling me, Alessandro, by the way, do you know that the number of implants is declining in Switzerland? Because finally, prevention and all the measures we took over the last 6 years are taking action. So we have a healthier population. We had an interesting also this morning with Florin talking about the longevity things. So the connection between oral health and overall health. And he made a nice comment. He was saying his daughter is 4 years old, and she told him that she wanted to become a doctor. And he was asking, a dentist? No, a doctor. And then we discussed what is the difference between a doctor and a dentist. And you know what the difference is? A doctor saves lives. And the dentist doesn't save lives. But we need to become a partner of this longevity, life-saving concept to really step out of the role of being the bad guy. Just the dentist is the guy, is the person that hurts people, is not nice, and so on and so on. And we should really do, and I think, and I hope that also the ITI is jumping on this initiative to create more awareness. And you were talking about awareness is one thing, awareness in the population, that prevention, that information, being educated is an important thing to have a lifelong healthy oral cavity with or without implants. Basically, thank you very much. And I want just to give you the last word. What is your advice? What is your advice to the younger generation in the context of the ITI?
As a number one, I think I couldn't agree more on what you just said before, because one strong driver for me is really, again, as I said at the very beginning, I don't treat teeth. I don't treat defect teeth. I don't treat missing teeth. I treat human beings. And we should be so proud what we can do. And we are belong to one strong medical discipline, which can really change patients' life. And I think that should be absolutely clear. And we should not be just in the box of being mechanics. We are doctors taking care of the oral cavity and taking care of the oral health and also systemic health. So this is very important to understand ourselves as being part of the medical disciplines and not seen separately. I think that's very important. And for the young generation, they should see themselves again as doctors responsible for the oral health, and they should stay throughout their lives curious and interesting what life offers you. And the more you're curious, the more doors will open and the more exciting life will be. And I wish every young one to have this excitement to go. I go every day with so much pleasure to work, and I wish that everybody has this passion and this enthusiasm.
So thank you very much, Ronnie, for these insights. And I'm sure that this will not be the last interview. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join Dental TV, our new channel, not only with insights from experts like Ronnie, but with many information out there. And yeah, see you soon, Ronnie.
See you soon. Thanks, Alessandro.